Today's another big day for Intel Arc owners. We have XeSS added into Forza Horizon 5. So we're going to test it out. We're just going to see how it does we're just going to see how it performs. So we'll start with, higher settings here, and we'll test out XeSS, and we'll compare it to, for example, FSR, which we also have access to, see if it improves the performance or, visuals or anything, and just kind of get an idea of how it looks. So this is 4K native extreme presets. And we can see the, we don't have anti-aliasing turned on, like I said. So, because as soon as we turn anti-aliasing on, as soon as we turn FSR or XeSS on, it'll turn off the anti-aliasing. So let's just check out the visuals here. Looks pretty good. Okay, so this is quality XeSS here. It's actually smoother now because we didn't have an anti-aliasing on before, obviously. But you can see here it looks really nice. This is just quality. Let's flip back to FSR quality and we'll see the difference here. So FSR quality. This is FSR quality. Not noticing a huge difference here. You can see down in the track, like the pavement down here doesn't look much different. The people might be a little bit softer, but it's hard to tell. Let's turn the XeSS up a bit here. So we'll go with balanced XeSS. So this is balanced XeSS. Text all looks fine. These all look fine up here still. You can still read all the font. Let's try balanced FSR. This is starting to get a little blurry. It's still fine, but it's a little bit blurrier here. The fonts are a little bit blurrier. They come in and out, but it's still pretty good, I would say. There's some artifacting now you can see up here on the screen. Hopefully it picks it up on the video capture, but back on balance, same as the FSR we were just on. And that artifacting is gone. Up in here, no longer present. This isn't really like fading in terms of going in and out in terms of clarity. It's pretty much just static. So I can say right now, objectively, the XeSS looks better. Let's turn it up one more. We'll do performance. So this is turned up quite a bit here. So XeSS on performance here. This is still legible, no problems. Still no artifacting anywhere. Concrete looks good. Car looks good. There's not really any drop in quality, I would say. Okay, now let's go back to FSR and we'll throw that on quality. We'll throw the FSR now on performance. So FSR performance, again, we have the artifacting up here. We're starting to get flickering up in the cell phone towers or light towers up here, whatever these are. Pavement and stuff looks good. The car looks a little softer, but it's still fine. Definitely looks softer. But it's the shimmering, there's some weird shimmering over here too. You can see along the edge there. I'm hoping that the game capture picks all this up, but visually I can see there's a lot of more artifacting. It still looks fine. You could play like this. It's not a problem or anything, but. Okay, so 4K max scaling MSAA at 8 times and extreme presets, so very demanding. We're not going to hit a VRAM wall, not on the art card, because we have 16 gigabytes. It'll just be whether it performs or not. The frame rate is okay, but the 1% lows are not fantastic, as we can see here. So let's try that again. We'll just come back here. Let's turn on some of those XeSS scaling settings and FSR. So this is extreme presets, no scaling, obviously anti-aliasing off. Oh, there's some slowed on there for a second, but it seems okay now. I could, oh, there's some soda on there again. I could do this at 1440p, but 4K is going to really push the system a lot more, so I want to, see what it does here. So not really playable at extreme, at 4K at least. So we'll just try quality XeSS. So this is quality XeSS. We can see, there's no artifacting or anything up in here. Maybe a little bit there, but it's not bad. Let's come back here and we'll try FSR on quality. So not too much, a little bit of shimmering up here you can see. A little bit up here. It's not terrible, but it's doing okay. Let's, again, 1440p extreme. Looks pretty good. Not really seeing it. You can see birds in the background. I'm not really seeing any artifacting or anything. It's just slightly softer than native, but it doesn't look bad. There's no like weirdness. Let's come back here and we will try FSR on performance. So FSR performance, you can see, there's the artifacting kind of shimmering, as I call it, out in the tracks here, or whatever, the paint, some off in the background there in these areas here. So the thin lines, they start to struggle with FSR at higher settings. So this is 1440p extreme native. So extremely playable. The 0.1% lows are not fantastic, but it's still very playable. Performance 1440p. performance might be a tiny bit higher on FSR. However, visual fidelity and artifacting is much better on XeSS. So the XeSS looks a little bit less blurry, and there's definitely less of the weird artifacting. So yeah, so that's basically the summary there. I'm really happy they added XeSS because FSR is great. You know, it works pretty much on really most cards, and it's in a lot of games. However, the issue with FSR is, you know, once you go above even quality, I would say, even to balance, it starts to get muddy and you start to get artifacting. Up at performance, you really start to notice visual fidelity loss. However, with XeSS, you don't really notice that same fidelity loss. You know, it may not perform quite as well as FSR, maybe a tiny little drop from FSR. However, the one advantage is that you don't get those weird artifacting like up in these areas up here.